Are you a sugar burner or are you a fat burner? Or are you somewhere in between? Having metabolic flexibility can be a real game changer when it comes to your health and how you feel from day to day. Because if you're having to eat every few hours because you have no ability to tap into fat and use it as a fuel source, then that's going to be really irritating in a lot of different ways. So today I'm going to go over 10 different things that are clear signs that you're burning sugar and you are a sugar burner. And after each of those, I'm going to give you how you'll feel and what the difference will be if you are fat adapted and a fat burner. For the first one is if you struggle to lose weight. You've tried all the tricks, all the different things, and no matter what you do, you just can't lose weight to save your life. You keep staying at the same place on the scale and nothing's happening. That's a clear sign you're a sugar burner. Now, if you're fat adapted and a fat burner, you're going to be able to lose weight a lot more easy. And the reason for that is because when you're fat adapted, you're able to tap in to fat stores way easier and burn those up for fuel, as opposed to having to rely on glucose energy every few hours. If you're having to snack between meals, eat every few hours, it's a clear sign that you're a sugar burner. Like I've done said, you can't tap into your own body fat and run off of it until it's time to eat again. So if you're a fat burner, you can easily go from meal to meal without having a snack to keep your energy levels elevated. If you have carb cravings and cravings for sugar and sweets and other junk like that, you're most likely a sugar burner because your body is used to running on glucose at that point. It pretty much completely relies on it because it doesn't know how to run on fat very well. So that's what's going to be the main driver of those cravings. Your body is wanting that fuel source that is pretty much all that it knows. So on the flip side, if you are a fat burner and you're fat adapted, you don't have those cravings. Your body's not trying to get you to consume a lot of external glucose because you've got plenty of energy right on your body for it to tap into and make use of. So it's not going to be trying to get you to consume a lot of external glucose, whether it's from sweets or candy, because it all in the end turns into glucose. If you're experiencing energy crashes all throughout the day, you're riding what I like to call the blood sugar roller coaster. You are clearly a sugar burner at this point. You never have constant steady energy. 1 minute, you know, you feel great and real energized and you want to do what you need to get done. But then, not too long after that, you just crash and you feel like laying back on the couch and doing absolutely nothing the rest of the day. If you're fat adapted and you're a fat burner, you have steady energy throughout the day. You don't have that constant up and down dip all day. That's going to be very beneficial for most people this day and time, as busy as we are with a lot of different stuff. You don't want to be dealing with that up and down all day. You got things to get done. You've got kids, you've got maybe college, a very busy job. You want to be able to have steady energy and get through the day without feeling straight dead every other hour. So for the next two, I'm gonna go ahead and just squash these together because they're really pretty much the same thing. Why that is because the next one up is being able to go long periods of time without eating and being fat adapted and a fat burner versus you being a sugar burner and you can't go long periods without eating. It may be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You might be able to make it 4 hours, but eventually you got to have some kind of snack. Well, then you've got the next one right behind that, and that is fasting. If fasting is extremely difficult or pretty much impossible for you to do, then you are clearly a sugar burner. If you can't go long periods, you can't fast, you're burning sugar. If you're fat adapted and a fat burner, fasting is going to be a lot easier for you and you're gonna end up almost doing it just naturally. And I can attest to that along with a lot of other people. I used to have to really think about it and say, okay, when do I want, where do I want my window of eating to be, what time, and now I just kind of go with the flow day to day. I just let my body tell me when it's ready to eat, and I eat till I'm satisfied, and I can easily go to the next meal. And some days I do OMAD, which stands for 1 meal a day. If it's time for you to eat, and for whatever reason your meal gets delayed, if you end up getting irritable, shaky, lightheaded, dizzy, that's a clear sign that you are a sugar burner. Because what's happening is you're starting to have low blood sugar. Okay, that can cause a lot of those to happen. You're so used to having glucose and having high insulin that high insulin is ended up pushing your sugar down, and you're used to having higher sugar levels. So when you have those happen, you're burning sugar. But on the flip side, if you're fat adapted and able to burn fat easily, you can easily be okay if a meal's delayed. You're not going to be irritable, shaky, or dizzy. You'll just go with the flow and wait till you're able to eat again and be perfectly fine. The next sign that you are burning sugar, this is a great one, and that is if you experience intense hunger pains. And some of you probably know the ones I'm talking about, the almost queasy feeling, crampy, knotted stomach. You know, it's not a good feeling. Well, when you get fat adapted and you can burn fat, those hunger pains slowly go away. And that was one of the big things that I personally noticed when I started doing this a little over 4 years ago. I experienced those hunger pains every few hours. They don't feel good and they make you feel bad. Well, when you get fat adapted and you're able to burn fat easily, those are going to go away completely. It's been a long time since I've experienced those. If you have a tough time going to sleep, and then even more specifically staying asleep and not waking up every few hours, that's going to be a sign that you're burning sugar. Now, obviously, sleep issues can have a lot of different causes though. There's many other things that can be a factor, and you do need to look into those. But being a sugar burner, that is one thing that can happen, is it just totally screws up and messes with your sleep. Where on the flip side, if that's the issue with sleep, when you're fat adapted, you can get to sleep fairly easy and then stay asleep until it's time to wake up. The next one is a bit of a list. Now, if you're burning sugar and you're a sugar burner and that's what you're used to, you can experience a whole lot of different issues like migraines, PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome in women. You've got diabetes, excess body fat, hormone imbalances, and the list can go on and on. The flip side, once again, if you're fat adapted and you can burn fat and you're a fat burner, your symptoms are either getting a lot better or you've about completely reversed a lot of the issues that you had before you got fat adapted. I don't know about you guys, but I really rather not experience any of the sugar burner stuff that I talked about, because that doesn't sound like no fun at all. It sounds very miserable and in a lot of pain. Now, I made that decision a long time ago, and I can tell you, if you do not do keto or ketovore or carnivore, any of those are totally worth it to get on and get fat adapted. If you want to learn about or get a deeper understanding for fat adaptation, make sure you check out my video I did up here on the fat adaptation process. But until next week, guys, keep it keto, keep it healthy.